starts now.
If you're having trouble finding cold and flu medicine, you're not alone. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. Store shelves across the country, including here in San Diego, are close to empty as demand continues to rise. CBS 8's Shannon Handy visited several stores to check out the problem for herself.
She has more on what she found and what she didn't find.
It used to be difficult to find home COVID tests inside stores, and while that's still the case, you can now add cold and flu medicine to that list.
There are empty shelves here.
From this Rite Aid in Pacific Beach,
All right, let's try another store.
to CVS.
There are some cold and flu medicines left, but if you're looking for cough drops, you may be out of luck.
Every store I visited Wednesday was out of certain cold and flu medications, so while you can find some, it may not be the exact remedy you want.
Not much, and then the cough drops are almost all gone.
Images like these are becoming more and more common. This video was captured at the Target in Poway on Saturday. These pictures were taken at the Target in Eastlake. Nationwide, it's the same situation. So what's causing these empty store shelves? For starters, there's a supply chain issue which has impacted products all across the board. But specifically when it comes to cold and flu medicine, the reality is more and more people are getting sick.
What I'm seeing in the office is a lot of minor viral illnesses. So everybody seems to be sick right now.
Dr. Joel Warsh is a pediatrician based in Los Angeles. He says this year's cold and flu season is shaping up to be worse than last year's. On top of that, more and more people are contracting COVID. And with symptoms similar for both, people are turning to the same types of medicine.
There's a lot of overlap, whether it's a cough, a headache, a sore throat. And so just using general cold and flu medications often is the only choice for some people, or it's the first thing that they go to when they go to the store and like, oh, I have a sore throat or I have a headache, what can I take?
Dr. Warsh says if it is COVID, cold and flu medications are fine to take.
Usually when you're treating any virus, you're just treating the symptoms.
If you can get them. He expects shelves will remain bare for at least the next couple of weeks. Fortunately, you can still find many products online or consider trying natural remedies, which may be easier to get instead. Pharmacies both here and across the country say they're doing their best to restock. In the meantime, you may want to consider buying cold and flu medicine if you see it for the future in case the problem gets any worse.
Tomorrow marks 1 year in office for President Biden. Today, he addressed the nation in a news conference to discuss what he calls his accomplishments for his first year in office.
The president's speech tackled everything from the economy to relations with Russia to what the president calls progress in the COVID-19 pandemic. The White House is now releasing free N95 masks to help protect Americans from COVID-19 during the Omicron surge.
CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes listened in on that news conference and joins us live with more on those free masks. Kirsten?
Hey guys, I am here at a CVS on Balboa Avenue because this could be one of the places you could pick up one of these. It's one of those free N95 masks. The Biden administration says they should be making 3 available to every American, and you can pick them up at your local pharmacies and community health centers all across the country.
We're moving toward a time when COVID-19 won't disrupt our daily lives. We're making 1 billion at-home tests available for you to order and be delivered to your home for free.
President Biden announced what he calls his accomplishments fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, adding that the fight isn't over, but maintains the United States is better off than it was a year ago at this time, admitting that the changing guidelines have been frustrating.
Some people may call what's happening now the new normal. I call it a job not yet finished. We're in a very different place now, though. We have the tools: vaccines, boosters, masks, tests, pills, to save lives and keep businesses and schools open.
One of those tools, N95 masks. The 400 million free masks will come from the country's strategic stockpile and will be made available to the public at thousands of local pharmacies and community health centers starting next week, according to a White House official. This marks the largest deployment of personal protective equipment in U.S. history. The president adds, despite the masks and the rollout of the vaccines, there's still work to be done to get the unvaccinated with shots in their arms.
We've gone from 90 million adults with no shots in arms last summer and down to 35 million with no shots as of today. And we're adding about 9 million more vaccinations each week.
Doctors and the CDC have now agreed that the N95 masks are most effective at fighting the virus when compared to the popular surgical or cloth masks. The president also adds the only way forward in the pandemic is through, and that through includes free vaccines, tests, and now masks.
We're not going back to lockdowns. We're not going back to closing schools. Schools should stay open.
Now, regardless of your vaccination status, the White House, the CDC, most doctors are saying that you should be wearing a mask indoors and outdoors in crowded places if you are in a place where there is high transmission of COVID-19. And right now, just so you know, almost every county all across the country is in the red zone when it comes to COVID-19 because of the Omicron surge. And that means we're all in a level of high transmission. Back to you.
Yeah, those cloth masks, my husband just threw all of ours out. Surgical masks shown not to be as effective, and the N95 masks hopefully can make a difference. When can people start picking up those free masks? We don't want them running to the pharmacy just yet.
No, you're not supposed to go to the pharmacy just yet. We were expecting President Biden to make that announcement on when the mask should be available. He didn't make that announcement today. I think they're still working out the details, so the White House will let us know when we should be going to the pharmacies and community centers, hopefully by the end of the week, but as late as early February.
All right, great news. Thanks so much, Kirsten. And while we wait for those free masks from the federal government, the state is already providing N95 masks for students in our local public schools. 2 million masks are being distributed right now by the County Office of Education, and another 6 million are on the way. The office says there are enough to give 10 masks to every student and staff member in our local school districts.
From preventing the virus to finding out if you got it, the federal government's free COVID test website officially launched today, but some users had trouble ordering theirs.
There have been complaints of duplicate addresses with very little help offered. CBS 8's Heather Hope has more on how some San Diegans are getting answers for themselves on social media.
Many say it's been easy on the website and they were able to receive a confirmation number. But still other San Diegans say after repeated attempts, they still keep getting an error message.
A day before the official launch of covidtest.gov, many reported glitches with the website when trying to place their order, an occurrence most common for those in multi-dwelling residences like Janet Beach, who lives on a boat off Shelter Island. She says it was easy to order the 4 free COVID rapid tests for herself, but when she tried to order the tests for her neighbor,
it didn't work, and it said that someone at that address had already ordered tests.
Janet tried again today and got the same duplicates message. She took to social media for solutions. Many have suggested when on the test ordering website, don't put your apartment number in the apartment line, but put it on the street address line. But that still didn't work for Janet. Kendra on Twitter suggests calling 1-800-ASK-USPS to get your address recategorized as a multi-unit dwelling. Others on Twitter shared their problems in not being able to order tests, from language barriers to business addresses not being accepted by the government website. One man wrote he's living in an RV park and using its business address, which the website rejected because it only accepts residential addresses. We tried a few times throughout the day to order COVID tests. For one home address in El Cajon, it worked out easily. And for a P.O. Box address, it also went through and emailed confirmations that the test will be shipped in 7 to 12 days in late January.
Should we have done more testing earlier? Yes, but we're doing more now. We've gone from 0 at-home tests a year ago to 375 million tests on the market in just this month.
Nationwide, the White House reports there were isolated problems with user address verification, but no major issues have been reported.
Just last Friday, the White House said it was going to launch a phone number to help those who are having difficulty on the website to call and order a COVID test by phone, but it has not yet released a number. For more information on how you can order a COVID test, you can go to our website at cbs8.com and click on the Help button. Heather Hope, CBS 8.
Thank you, Heather. For more information on our stories related to the COVID pandemic, you can text the word COVID to 858-571-8888, and we'll send a link directly back to your phone.
New information tonight in the deaths of a mother and her 2-year-old son at Petco Park.
You probably remember back in September, 40-year-old Raquel Wilkins and her 2-year-old son, Denzel Browning Wilkins, fell to their deaths from the stadium's concourse level to the sidewalk below. Homicide detectives now say Raquel Wilkins' death has been ruled a suicide and her son's death is classified as a homicide. The release says detectives conducted a thorough investigation that included dozens of interviews, reviewing footage, and collecting background information. San Diego police say no further comment will be made about the case, but anyone with information is still asked to call the homicide unit at 619-531-2293.
After more than half a century in law enforcement, San Diego Sheriff Bill Gore says he is retiring next month.
Sheriff Gore began his career in 1970 with the FBI. He worked there more than 3 decades before moving to the San Diego County District Attorney's Office. He was later appointed sheriff in 2009 by the Board of Supervisors and elected to the position 3 times. Sheriff Gore says it's been an honor serving San Diegans for the last 12 years. Chair Nathan Fletcher says the County Board of Supervisors will call a special meeting to appoint an interim sheriff in March.